It is Monday morning, first thing, just out moving one of the poacher blocks so that we can use the gateway with the flat roll. It looks like a warm week again. We've just been out looking around the grass fields that are newly drilled, and we can just start to see that coming through. So that's going to get a second roll as a priority, just to get that tightened up and settled then. And then I've got a little bit more Cambridge rolling to do today, the 15 hectares left from last week. We'll just get that's drilled oats, get that finished up today, but just a little bit of dew this morning, so it's a little bit tacky underfoot when we've been about, so probably won't start that till lunchtime or so. But yeah, back on the rolls as a priority, and then we'll see what comes for the rest of the week. Just gonna get this poacher bog lifted. A little bit awkward to move on your own. Hopefully it won't swing about too much. These are top drawer if anyone wants to block gateways. And obviously still get their sprayer or fertiliser spreader in and out. Obviously, like today, you need to be able to move them for other things. But they're real quick and easy to move. So just nip back to the farm now. So we did get some rain over the weekend. I think it was 13 mil that came out the rain gauge on the farm. So we're pleased with that. And it's obviously has got some of the crops moving over the weekend. That perhaps wouldn't have without it, so I think we've had reports that we've seen some barley and wheat coming up as well as the grass. Just knock these off. As an example, this is the barley that's come through over the weekend. So Friday this wasn't like this, so that's nice to see that come up. Some decent looking rows as well, so that's got a good couple of inches on it out the top there. Before I head out for the morning, just popped up behind our old Dutch barn where we were creating some new hard standing. So yeah, just popped up because I'm going to order some more of these nice 25 sort of mil road planings that we love using just when we do it. So yeah, it's had a hardcore, been dug out. There's all the spoil. Put a hardcore base in, and then we're just finishing with the road planings. So I think a couple more loads will finish us off nicely here. And just made a little track into our sort of storage paddock there as well. As I was walking past it, I just thought I'd show you our little Hyundai 360 that we use for all the ditching and groundworks on the farm. Seems to be a great little digger. It's on rubber tracks, which it had a new set of, I think, last year, as the others were well shagged. But great little bit of kit. I'm not very handy on it at all, but Paul is, so it makes all those digger jobs very tidy and smart. Little front blade on it as well for a bit of dozing. Just pop the bucket brush on the Kramer, which is a top bit of kit. I love using a broom, but there's no substitute for this, as it just does stuff so quickly. Always find that it works best backwards. Just tidying up a few bits where the cultivators have been standing in the yard and the mud's dropped off, and where the drill's just been blown off in the yard this morning. I've got some straw, well, hay in the bucket from when I was tidying up outside the straw and hay shed, so we're just going to go and tip it on the compost heap. Job done. Just following Paul down to the main road. He's got the flat roll that's got the transport wheels on it, but it's a two-man job really to unpack it and pack it up, so we're just going to get it down there unpacked, ready for once the ground's ready to go. And looking at that sun that's just poked out, hopefully that'll be by lunchtime. So just having a little walk in the field. It's actually pretty dry, so I'm going to give the roll a go while we're in the field. Just get it hooked up. Tractor's probably just slightly overpowered for this job. Don't know if anyone else has 280 horsepower on their flat roll. Doesn't look like it's sticking at all, so that'll be a goer. The grass is not super easy to find. It's almost like a hair, but there's an example. Can you still see it? So we struggled establishing grass in this field last year due to slugs, but hopefully with the dry spring and summer there'll be a lot less slug pressure. And there's another little bit of grass coming through, we can just see that. So yeah, we'll be wishing for better things this year. One of our drying floors has had the ends lifted and been blown out this morning. We tidied out the last little bit of wheat at the back, which has gone on the big heap after the 4 loads, I think, went out of here, which was sold last month. So we've just got to do the same with another floor over in this shed. We've currently just had this for some storage, just keeping a few bits out of the weather and dry. Some of our wooden trailers that we like to keep dry, but now we've all finished drilling, these are all empty of seed. So we'll take these out shortly and get them put somewhere else along with the rolls, and then come and take this final little bit of wheat out the back and stick that on the big heap, so that we can get the whole floor blown out and clean, ready to store all our cultivation equipment over winter. So we'll crack on moving the rolls and a few of these trailers. Just tuck those 3 trailers in front of our barley straw, which I expect we won't bother trying to move until after Christmas. So they can look pretty there for a little while and stay dry. Pulled this blue trailer out the front of the grain store earlier, so I can tip that last little bit of wheat on the front of this heap. This has got all our 2025 harvest in. It's probably holding about 900 tons or so in this side. Could probably hold about 1,000 if we heaped it right up. But yeah, this is our biggest drying floor. Obviously got a stirrer in there as well. It's got all our Oxford and Dorsum, as you can see on the sign there. Just tipping the first little bit. Then we'll go back for the second bit, which we'll tidy up with a brush and a shovel. That's all tidy now. Have just included some evidence of me using a broom and a shovel. It's not all sitting on tractors. Flat roll is finished up, so that's just having its ballast dropped out, so it can be stored for winter, won't freeze up. After a very drizzly morning, the sun has just made a brief appearance just in front of the 724, getting that hooked up just now onto the record topper. Going to go and take on some of our sort of 4-metre field margins and our field corners they're all uncropped and planted for schemes. So Paul's already out with the 820 with the front mower and side swipe on, and then just getting this geared up to go and double team it. Elsewhere, we've just had some slug pellets delivered. These purple bags, I've not seen these before, Gustos. So there's 200 kg of those and 100 kgs of slucks which were left over from last season. We just noticed when we were out with the agronomist yesterday that there was a very small amount of slug grazing on our grass that's coming through, and with the trouble we had with establishment last year, we're just going to crack on and get a good dose of pellets on to try and keep the slugs away, and we'll have done all we can really there with the rolling, keeping the ground tight and the pellets going on. We will jump in the tractor and get going. Thought I'd just jump out and show you the margins that I'm mowing. So around the majority of our fields, we obviously have the field boundary, we have a 2-metre grass margin and then a 4-metre environmental margin. So margins have actually looked pretty good this year. Lots of nice grasses and flowers in them, less nettles and thistles. Not quite sure why they've been better this year, but they've been a nice sight on the farm. So this record topper does a pretty nice job of cutting it all up, although the tractor, having no front mower, does run some of what you're trying to mow down, so you do have to go back over a couple of places. Lovely view that. Stansted Airport out in the distance there. You can hopefully just make out the control tower, centre of screen. There are some things that you're glad you don't run over with a mower or topper. An old exhaust being one of them. We're not missing one off our farm trucks, so I can only imagine that's come from our friends the hair coursers. Says it all really. Just a quick example out the window of one of our awkward field corners that we take out of production, just with the size of sprayers and combines now. It's much more convenient for them to be down in an environmental scheme rather than cropped. Just getting some grain trailers filled with beans, as we've got the seed cleaners here this morning. Trailer's nearly full now, just finishing off the top. Just started up the dressing plant now, so we're not actually having any seed dressing on these, they'll just be clean and sorted for size. I'll walk over and show you guys what's going on. Had a steady start to the seed cleaning as their waste scales had a little issue, which we did manage to solve. But 7 tonne of winter beans behind me there, 6 tonne of spring beans out there with just another 3 to finish it up. But we're going to end this week's video there. I hope you've enjoyed following me around the farm for another week. Please catch me on next week's video. We'll have more exciting stuff. See you soon.